Hi, Aries. Welcome to your reading. My name is Edgar Mendez, and today we are doing a reading all about how your person currently sees you, and we're going to look at their current feelings. I want to thank you for being here. Don't forget to like and comment. Don't forget to check out the rest of your chart. I'm also offering a sale on my Etsy shop for all of my services. If you are interested in getting that, you can check it out. And I also want to let you all know, don't forget to like and comment. I really do appreciate your feedback. I've been getting to the comments more often as well, so I want to thank you for that. So let's take a look. What is the overall energy surrounding Aries and their connection with their person? Let's take a look here. Aries and the connection with their person. Okay, we have the Page of Swords here. The Page of Swords or the Princess of Swords here. It's all about spine, right? Do you know when you're like really young, like maybe a young girl, and you have a crush on like a guy, an older guy, or just a boy, right? You kind of like want to pay attention to them. You kind of want to look at them. You kind of want to watch them. I feel like this person watches you from a distance, but what's coming through is I feel like they watch you from like that perspective of like maybe a crush or new love or someone that you really, really are fond of, but you may not have the courage to say hi. You may not have the courage to speak to, right? With the Princess of Swords as well, it's also about like kind of looking at someone from a distance. I feel like this is someone who sees you when they from a distance. So maybe you haven't talked to them, or maybe you're not in each other's lives, or maybe they don't know you that well. But there's this feeling here where it's like I'm watching them from a distance, and they do love it. One thing that's coming through is as we get closer, we see more details. So know that you're kind of going to get maybe the overview for this person's viewpoint, right? Not necessarily those itty bitty details that you love, right? Maybe more for a private reading. But with this Page of Swords here, they definitely they like what they see. I know it's crazy, but I know it's like especially for those of us like that are maybe looking for love. You kind of find it crazy that they will take their time to like get you or take their time to come closer, but that's kind of how they operate, right? And people operate differently, and this is someone who I feel wants to take their time to get closer to you. They don't want to rush it, right? They're not going to either. I do feel this as well. It's not going to be for everyone, but for some of you, it's like maybe you're trying to manifest them, or maybe you're trying to ask them to come closer, right? It's not going to work. I feel like this person's going to move at their own speed. They say it works a little bit, but I don't know. In my experience, people tend to just like to do their own thing, but we have the Magician reverse. A lot of views with magic here being reversed. Okay, there's two messages I got. For some of you, this connection has lost some of that magic for you, right? Because they're going slow and because things aren't moving the way you want them to, right? And that's normal, right? It's a normal way to be. It's normal feelings, right, as well. And for others of you, I feel like because this connection isn't working out, you don't believe in magic anymore, or you don't believe that everything works out. You don't believe that magic is real. It's kind of the feeling that I got, right? And it's because this connection isn't. This is like your magical connection, right? And because nothing's happening here and nothing's changed here, it makes you feel like when people talk about magic and spiritual stuff and even God, right? You're starting to think, well, maybe not, right? I'm not getting like an atheist vibe here, but there is a feeling of like, if this connection worked out for you, and and you're like, you know what I mean? Like, you will start to believe in spiritual stuff way more, right? You will start to believe in all that is way more. You start to believe in starseeds, magic. They say Father Sky, right? All those things, the energy, 5D. I think you'll start to believe in all those things way more, right? Because they're in your life. But because they're not, you're starting to lose that grip on that, right? You're starting to lose that focus. You're starting to lose that spirit, all right? You're being asked, if you do want to maintain that spirit, that equilibrium, for you to do things that help you further your faith in your spiritual stuff, right? Not all of us can get super magical spiritual experiences, right? And even when we do, they don't have that much of an impact on us, but they're huge. But my message to you is it takes us. It's like that. I don't know. It's like going to a monastery, right, and praying or meditating, right, daily. That anchors you in faith, and that helps you maintain that faith, right? A lot of that's something that I feel practical that you can do that can help you believe more, right? But a lot of yous, your connection is your source, is your spirit, is your connection to the divine, right? And because it's not working out, you now have the separation between you and spirit, or you. So they say you and source, okay? And with that separation, right? It means you may not be. Your life may not be as magical, is what I want to say, but it's being connected or one with source, right? One with spirit is key to like maintain that equilibrium. Okay. Anyway, we have the Five of Wands coming through as well. A lot of yous are battling with the heart and the head. I want to say for some of yous, the soul and the self. I don't know. Kind of, it's the one I got, but with the Five of Wands here, I feel with the Five of Wands here, Aries, I feel a lot of you are having trouble moving forward on your spiritual journey and your evolution, and even letting go of the connection, because everything right about this connection tells you that something's amiss or something's wrong or something's not manifesting the way it should, right? And it's making you question all that you believe and all that you know and all that you feel, right? A lot of you may even have maybe struggling to connect more to your guides because this isn't working out as well, right? Because this was meant to be your source, right? It's meant to be your connection to spirit, right? It's meant to be that, right? And since they're like taking their time, since they're keeping their distance, it feels like you're starting to lose faith, right? And it's not a good feeling, right? So I feel like you're battling. There's this internal battle within self, right? For you, Aries, where you're trying to believe more, yet you have no reason to, all right? You also have the Princess of Cups. This is you right here, right? This is you sipping for your little baby cup, right? And that cup is a great cup, right? For, I guess, a child, right? Or for someone small, but I feel like you're trying to be bigger, or you're trying to expand. I don't know. I don't want to say it like that. It feels like, you know how like that cup's like a well of like, I don't know, let's say it was filled with your belief in God, right? It's like you're well small basically because of this connection, because it's not working out, because things aren't moving, and because this person decided to take their time rather than to come in when they were meant to. A lot of yous, I feel like you are dealing with a connection that isn't manifesting and is starting to fizzle out. And we have the Princess of Pentacles as well as Contemplation here. You're looking at your physical, right? You're looking at the 3D. You're looking at your life here in the 3D, right? And you're not seeing change, right? You're not feeling that change, and you may not even be seeing the path ahead, right? I feel a lot of you are in deep contemplation on whether or not you should probably let it go, because you have someone here with this King of Wands who isn't taking charge of the connection and isn't moving. Fire is source, right? It's spirit. Fire is alive also, by the way. I do want you to know that. The sun is telling me that. Fire is alive, right? But with the contemplation, I do, and thank you, by the way, Sun, for letting me know that, and you ran a message, but I do appreciate it. I do appreciate that too. Thank you. With contemplation here, I feel, with contemplation here, I feel, with contemplation here, I feel, that you're really thinking about moving on, and you're really thinking about letting them go, and you're really thinking about like releasing this. Okay, so let's take a look. Sorry. Sorry about that. I paused it for a moment. Anyway, I hope I paused it. Sorry. So, Angels, Answers, the Guide. What do you have to say about how Aries' person sees Aries? What do you have to say about this situation? Sorry, we have my cat here. Sorry, I was like doing your reading and it was paused still, so I do apologize for that. Anyway, we have your first card being the Six of Cups, the second one being the Wisdom here. Um, a lot of you had hoped that this connection would come back together and had hoped that you will be able to walk this path with this person, right? I feel like a lot of you reached some kind of milestone, right? Or some kind of like mountaintop. And you hope that maybe if you gave this person enough time, that they would make their way towards you. But it feels like this person is insistent on staying away right now. A lot of you, your wisdom and your intuition is telling you to move forward, right? Move on. And be the lead, actually. It's actually what it's really telling you, by the way, with that wisdom here. And it feels with the wisdom being here, it's like, but it may go against maybe your moral code or what you think you should do or what you may have been taught to do, right? A lot of us are taught to maybe wait or stay or, I don't know, sacrifice for love, right? But that's not what I feel your wisdom telling you. That's not what your intuition telling you. Your intuition, your wisdom, I feel like, are telling you to move forward on your path, right? You're like a way shower, right? A way shower is someone who makes their journey first, right? For their family, for their soul family, right? For their tribe. And it feels like this is what you're being asked to step into, the higher self, right? And I know that when we are, I don't know, do you know like when like someone like like kids can be kids and it's great, right? A lot of you know what I mean, like I don't think you're a kid right anymore, right? And that's a good thing, right? I feel like you're wise and everything is telling you to move forward right now. Everything is telling you to move on and everything is telling you for you to let go of this connection. With the Six of Cups being here as well, sheep. Sorry. With the Six of Cups being here, I feel like a lot of you know that maybe if there is a reunion, it's maybe on the path ahead, not necessarily where you are. Okay. With the Seven of Swords being your next card, one thing that's coming through from Spirit is a lot of yous may have un no. Do you know like when you like make it way through life without really any problems, right? Without any issues, right? Without any, I don't know, um, like I want to say twists and turns. A lot of you may have had a twist or turn recently that makes you feel like maybe I may have taken a shot at your confidence, right? A message to you is to not dwell on that so much, right? Sometimes we have a tendency to self-sabotage, especially when it comes to our spiritual connections, because they're so daunting, right? One thing that it's really clear for so many people is they never work out, right? None of them do for some reason. I don't know, right? But they seem to not have that issue. They seem to not I don't know, the connection doesn't seem to have an issue, but there's something about this place. But with the Seven of Swords here, I feel like some of you maybe trying to like, I don't know, maybe shot yourself in the face or something, or I don't know. You may have like shot yourself in the foot, I think is what it's called. And you're starting to feel that, right? My message to you is to not dwell on some past mistakes, okay? I feel like a lot of you have been healing and getting yourself into balance, and you're learning to surrender again. One thing that's clear is like surrender takes practice, it takes mastery. A lot of you are healing so that you can surrender this connection, this person. I'm not saying that this is going to work out or not, but I can tell you, right, that right now, where this person is, how they're approaching the connection, how they see it, and I want to say the distance that they want to maintain, it's not going to happen in the physical, right? It feels like all you're going to get from this person, I want to say, are some like telepathic messages or something, right? And that's not much we can work with, right? And it feels like a lot of you are starting to see that this connection may not manifest for you, and it's time to move forward, okay? With the Four of Cups as your overall, you're very bored with the connection. You're very bored with the situation. You're also very bored with love. And one thing I can tell you is love doesn't give that much, right? I know we're taught and conditioned that love gives you this and that and the other, but in my experience, romance, connections like that, I always find them lacking, right? And especially for what they take from us, right? A lot of you are starting to look at like this connection and starting to not to see that the dollar signs, right? Do you know, like when you look at the lottery, right? I think so this person's lottery, right? Lottery ticket, right? A lottery win, and now you're starting to look at them and thinking, I don't know about that, right? Because you're wiser, right? And again, I know a lot of us like may want to act like a kid with this person or act like a kid in life. We have to maintain that wisdom. We have to maintain that equilibrium, and you have to maintain a connection to the higher self. Okay, they say the higher realms. All right. Let's take a look here. So angels, ancestors, and guides. What does that all mean for Aries? We have the Eight of Swords and the Eight of Swords with the Love card. Love in this reverse. This has one person here, right? It's all about self love, right? In its reverse, I feel like it's our love for others, right? I feel like you're like no, I don't want to say it like that, but I feel like some of your love that you had towards this person may have no, I don't want to phrase it like that, but you may feel it keeps you stuck, right? And keeps you in place or keeps you attached, right? Look at like in what ways are you attached to this person? What do you see this person giving you that you can't give yourself, right? I want you to start to like tally that, write that down, and start to find ways to do it. And I have news for you, and I'm just throwing this out there. I just saw 555 in the camera or 1555. And news for you, Aries. Let's say you see this person as like someone that I don't know you find very sexually attractive or something. I don't know. I don't know if that's the right phrasing, right? No, I don't want to phrase it like that. Let's say you see this person you just want that company, right? You want someone to come home to, stuff like that. Get a roommate or get a best friend, right? I feel like that's going to be far more meaningful for you than this connection, because right now I feel like this person isn't ready to show up, but it's I feel like it's keeping you attached. Look at in what ways are you attached to the connection. Sorry, I can see how I didn't do that. Hold on one second. We're doing a rewiring. Okay. With the love card being reversed and the Eight of Swords both reversed here, I feel look at in what ways are you attached that's keeping you stuck, and try to get yourself unstuck. Okay, let's see. Sorry. Okay. We have contemplation here as well. What else do you want to give for the readers? For the readers for Aries' reading, we have both the star reverse as well as the moon. Interesting. Star reverse with the moon both reverse. Okay. One thing I do want you to get and to understand, a lot of you, this was your hope, right? This was your dream. This was the thing that you were striving for, whether you knew it or not, right? And a lot of people know that when they're at the beginning of their journeys, but we kind of lose sight of that a little bit later. But not to say it's a bad thing, but a lot of you, I feel like this person was your wish come true, and now that it's not happening, it's starting to make you maybe want to suppress yourself, or maybe want to take a walk on the wild side. Not for everyone, but I don't want to phrase like that either. Sorry. Angels and Guide, what message do you want to give? A lot of you, this was your wish come true, right? Your happiness, what you were searching for. And with the moon reverse, I feel like you're starting to see a different path ahead for yourself, right? And one that leads elsewhere, maybe even to someone else. And as someone who is taking that journey myself, I will be honest, right? I can tell you, I'm not looking back, right? And I don't think you should either. And my message to you is to keep moving forward and keep looking forward, okay? With the next card being the fertility, this is all about you embodying your best energy and your best self. Fertility is all about receptivity. What's coming through from the guides is fertility is like connection with divine. I want you to know that it's a connection with divine. But with the temptation here, you're still attached to this person, and you're still attached to this connection. You're attached on what this connection meant to you or what it means to you. A lot of you, it was your source to spirit, or your connection to spirit, and or your reason to believe in all this, right? You have to find another reason to believe. And I know that really sucks, because a lot of us, for those in twin flame connections, your twin flame connection was your catalyst, right? And now that that's not there, it's like I don't know how to explain it. I don't have that reason to believe anymore. And my message to you is you have to find a reason to believe. There is something here. It's like you're attached to this connection because it's your reason to believe, and you want to be unattached to connection, so you need another one. So they say children is a good one. Doesn't have to be, by the way, but children is a good one. But I can see it. We have the Queen of Cups as well as the Seven of Wands as the next set. The Queen of Cups for me, take care of yourself here, by the way, as well. When you find a love worth fighting for, you're going to fight for it. It's not bad to let it go as well. And I want to make this clear. Sometimes we have this idea about what love means, and we think love means sacrificing, right? Our love means fighting for it no matter what to the end, right? I feel like there's something here where it's like you don't want to let go of this connection because you think it's like not a fault of yours or failure or accepting failure or you're giving up. I promise you, you're not giving up, right? You're choosing yourself, right? And you're choosing your own happiness, but I feel like you're choosing, let me see what you're choosing at the bottom. You're choosing to not suffer anymore, and you're choosing to let go, and it's a good choice to make. You're choosing to let go of that really really big heavy want or heavy weight that this connection is. And again, I want you to know that this connection is a heavy weight. You want a connection that gives you just as much as you're giving it. And you want a man who does that as well, right? We have the Emperor. This is what you're looking for. This is you right here, taking control of your life, right, and pulling it in a different direction because this person isn't, and you're no longer waiting for that. And we have the Ace of Pentacles here. This would be you giving you that offer. And Justice, it's very clear. I hope this makes sense. The Six of Wands here, you do feel like this is in some ways a failure, or that the connection, it didn't reach success. I promise you, I achieved completion with my twin flame connection when I was by myself at home, and I had all these epiphanies, and it was beautiful. And I reached just a high vibration, right? I message you, you're gonna do the same, right? It's not necessarily with them, right? It's necessarily without. So let's see, angels, ancestors, and guides. What's your message, right? Or for guidance for Aries? Let's take a look here. Guidance for Aries. We have the first one's gonna be River of Blessing, releasing constraints. Look at in what ways are you restraining or constraining, right? No, restraining, right? Restraining. Or restricting, right? Restricting your good things and coming into your life, right? Look at what ways that's happening, and look at on what ways they're saying in what ways that's manifested, right? And again, it's not about it's about us recognizing it. For one thing, let's say you have I don't know. I don't know. Let's say you have an issue where you get walked all over, right? Your family's always gonna walk all over you, right? Because it keeps manifesting, right? There's something like this at play, right? I must just choose for you to look at in what ways are you restricting yourself or restricting yourself or hurting yourself, all right? We have hostilities coming through with conflict and unrest. They want you to know that when we face conflict and unrest, it's not us no. We're not moving in the wrong way or in the wrong place or in the wrong direction. With hostilities and with conflict and unrest, the path ahead doesn't always look peaceful. They said it does look peaceful, by the way, but doesn't always look peaceful. Right? And message to you is when you face some uneasiness or uncomfortableness or maybe even some rage and stuff like that, right? You're moving in the right direction, even if you don't think you are. Okay. And then the last one we have is going to be duality, right? We have many meanings and misunderstandings. This is Mary Magdalene, if I'm not mistaken here, right? For the card meaning, Mary Magdalene was described as a prostitute, right? But she was a landowner, right? And it's just one of those things that history gets wrong. I message you is I feel like some of you have some misunderstandings in terms of your teaching or your programming or your default settings that are hurting you. One of them is your connection to this person, and your connection to connection to this person. And with the duality coming through, I want to make sure that's cleared up. Thank you. With duality coming through, I can feel it's about you looking at your attachment to love and what love means to you. I feel like that's probably your biggest issue, right? One of your biggest misunderstandings. You have to learn what love means for you. This is one of our steps to unity consciousness, right? You have to know what love means. When you access universal love, you access that truth, right? That's key. But they want you to dig deeper on what love means for you, and in what ways do you misunderstand love? Okay. Sorry, it's a beautiful one. And then we have the last one's going to be Earth Magic, fearlessness and removing obstacles. It's going to take a fearless person to remove the obstacles that you're working through, right? Be fearless, all right? And thank you. Aries, don't forget to like and comment and check out the rest of your chart and take care. Bye.